I'm just going to do what everybody else is doing right now. The Lions love Anthony Richardson. Everybody does.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Dery with you. It is another installment of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It is a Monday, March 6th and a Tuesday, March 7th, a little mock draft Monday. I've got one from The Athletic today that really gives you some real insight from NFL GMs, courtesy of Mike Sando. We will go over that momentarily here on the program. Also, all the rage, all the buzz from Indianapolis, all right, from Naptown, from Circle City, from the 317 is all about one quarterback. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to play along. But I don't really want to play along, but I'm going to play along because I'm a part of, I guess, Lions media. I'm wearing the Lions shirt today. I host Locked On Lions, so I'm going to wink, wink, play along in order to help the Lions draft stock at number 6. It's a big show. It's a big Monday right here on Locked On Lions on the Locked On Podcast Network. Mike Renner from PFF, likely on Wednesday. I'm working on some other Draft Nick stuff for this week. All of that on Locked On Lions this week. Thanks for making us your first listen, checking us out. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. If you subscribe on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel, also follow us on Twitter at Dery Speaks, at Locked On Lions, and the Matt Dery Facebook fan page. This is unbelievable. I thought last year, all right, at the Combine, at Lucas Oil, that it was just getting ridiculously over the top with the love affair that the media and alleged teams had over Malik Willis. All right, Malik Willis from Liberty had a really good Senior Bowl. We had Jim Nagy on the show. He's like, watch out for Malik Willis. He can run, he can throw. Then he gets to the Combine and he throws the ball like 70 yards in the air. And he runs real fast. And he jumps real high. And everybody's like, oh, Malik Willis to the Lions at number 2. Do you guys, come on. You guys remember. There were people, and I'm not just high on a bunch of, and up on a sugar rush on Built Bars. I'm telling you, there were people texting me, emailing, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is. Matt, watch for the Lions at number 2 to take Malik Willis. I said, are you out of your mind? Like, what? Oh, no. Not 2, 32. Second round. Oh, okay. Well, Lions didn't do that either. They packaged that pick to move up to get Jamison Williams. It wasn't until what? Late in the second round? Malik Willis, or early third round? What was it? Malik Willis got finally grabbed by the Tennessee Titans. And oh, by the way, when Ryan Tannehill got hurt this year, and Mafreak got a chance to get on the field, he couldn't play. He might be good in a couple of years. Could not play. He was terrible. So fast forward to yesterday, or not yesterday, but over the weekend, Saturday. I'm refreshing the old Twitter machine, and there it is. Anthony Richardson ran a 4.40. Anthony Richardson jumped the highest high jump, or whatever it is, jumping and touching the thing, whatever it's called. Broad jump. Oh, look at the broad jump. I mean, Rich Eisen was like falling in love. Imagine if Anthony Richardson played at Michigan. Rich Eisen would have taken his clothes off. So, Anthony Richardson threw the ball well as well. You could see his build. You could see the speed. And it was just goo goo gaga for hours on Saturday about Anthony Richardson, the quarterback from Florida. True freshman season, he took like 3 snaps the whole year. Redshirt freshman year, or they called it a redshirt freshman year or whatever, but COVID year. He played in like 6 games. Last year as a sophomore, it was his year. And Anthony Richardson's completion percentage was 53.8. 53.8. In games. In games. Anthony Richardson wasn't a good passer. But with all of these teams needing a quarterback at the top of the draft, the Colts, the Bears are going to trade Ryan Poles. The Bears GM say, oh, told Peter King, Football Morning in America this morning, oh, yeah, I'm going to get a first rounder in 24 and 25. I'm going to have 4 picks. I'm going to be in great shape. Okay, Ryan, you're the same guy that traded a second-round pick for Chase Claypool. I'm going to get 4 good players, are you? Because your first draft sucked. So this guy's just running his mouth. And look, I guess it's better than saying nothing, but let's pump the brakes on Ryan Poles here. This guy wants to make a trade today for the number 1 pick. You got time, bro. Hold on a second. You got a month and a half, man. But as a Lions guy, good, Ryan, make the trade today. But you got the Bears knowing the Colts need a quarterback. Seattle, people are talking about Seattle taking a quarterback at 5. You know Houston's taking one at 2. You know Indy's taking one at 4. You know, even though Derek Carr's going to the Saints, maybe New Orleans wants one. The Raiders need a quarterback. Washington, Carolina, all these teams are desperate. And if they were reading the tea leaves on Saturday and watching the combine, it was like just a love affair, this buttery roll for Anthony Richardson. Last football game, Anthony Richardson played at Florida. He went 9 for 27. He completed 33% of his passes in that game. He had 2 games in his college career in 3 years. Now remember, his first year he barely played. So let's say 2 years. He had 2 games in 2 years at Florida. We're not talking about playing at, OCC or Macomb. No offense. I don't even think Macomb has a football team. Lawrence Tech. Anthony Richardson had 2 games of 20 or more completions. That's it. But, you ready? Here's what I'm going to do. The Lions love him. I'm hearing the Lions love him. Oh, yeah. Lions might take him at 6. Wink, wink. You guys believing me yet? Lions think his athleticism is off the charts. 4.40. They've never seen speed like this. He's broken all these high jump and low jump and broad jump and your mom's jump. He's done it all. The Lions love him. Shh. See what I'm doing? I'm helping Brad Holmes. Carolina's going to call with a big haul. Raiders are calling with a big haul at 9. Carolina, 9? Carolina's at 9. Raiders are at 7. Raiders are at 7, and they're terrified that the Lions are going to get their quarterback of the future. AR-15. The only AR-15 I know is Austin Reeves, baby, from the Lakers. All right. I tried my best. The pajama Olympics or the underwear Olympics, whatever Dan Campbell called them last week. It's unbelievable. If an NFL team takes Anthony Richardson over Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, I think they're crazy. C.J. Stroud was lighting up Georgia in the national semifinals. This guy was throwing darts. Watch the throw C.J. Stroud made in the pouring rain in Bloomington. I know Indiana stinks. Watch the throw he made. Type in C.J. Stroud versus Indiana and watch the throw he made in the rain in triple coverage. Bryce Young, the guy, has been a Heisman finalist 2 years in a row. I mean, he's a great player. Great player. He won it 2 years ago. Or last year. I don't even know. You know what I mean. I'm sorry. If anybody takes Anthony Richardson, if the Colts trade up to number 1 and take Anthony Richardson, they're crazy. Chris Ballard should be fired. But I hear the Lions love him. Let's line up all these teams to get AR-15. They all call Brad Holmes. We'll give you the number 9. Carolina's going to give us the number 9 pick, and let's throw in a first rounder next year to move up 3 spots. If I'm Brad Holmes, sign me up. Let's hype it up. Let's continue this Anthony Richardson hype train. Hey, maybe the Lions are going to draft and stash him for a year. Oh, yeah, he'll be ready in a year. Eye roll. All right, coming up next, I got a mock draft of all mock drafts for you from theathletic.com, where Mike Sando talked to actual general managers. We'll do that coming up next. Looking for a delicious treat, but don't want all the fat and calories? Look at that, huh? I had one today. I'm not just going to sit here and talk the talk. I'm going to walk the walk. Built Bar, the best. Had my cookies and cream Built Bar today. What is it, 130 calories, 17 grams of protein. It's perfect. Perfect. If you like something tasty, you want it to taste good, you don't want one of these chalky bars, and it's good for you, you got to go to Built.com. Now I'm hearing they're at Costco, they're at Sam's Club, they're at Walmart. Get yourself a churro bar, peanut butter brownie box, coconut almond. I love the cookies and cream. Or try the delicious Built Puffs. They are fantastic as well. All right, you don't need to wait around to get a box. Order them at Built.com, where you can get 15% off if you use Locked15. But you can also go to Walmart today or even Sam's Club and grab a 13-bar box at Sam's Club of brownie batter and churro. You can thank me later. It's our friends at Built Bar. All right, mock draft Monday. I'm going live to theathletic.com. I'm fired up today. I'm in a good mood. I guess it's snowing. I wouldn't know in my home office here. I got a window, but it's a glass block window, so I don't know what it's doing out there. So bear with me. What was he doing? Oh, theathletic.com, Mike Sando. I like Mike Sando. NFL GMs and execs mock out the 2023 NFL Draft's top 10 picks, written today by Mr. Sando, live from Indianapolis. Of course, Anthony Richardson's incredible workout got mentioned. Here's what Sando says 3 NFL GMs and other top execs told him about the combine and the draft. No trades. Now, again, the Bears are going to trade, but just this mock draft is no trade, so bear with me. Bears take Will Anderson, edge, Alabama at 1. Number 2, Houston Texans, Bryce Young, quarterback, Alabama. A lot was made of Bryce Young's 5'10" and 1/8 frame. But Bryce Young would go to Houston in this mock draft, despite the fact he had 1 pass batted down at the line of scrimmage this year. 1. And he's 5'10", and he's like, this guy's Doug Flutie Jr. Oh, okay. Bryce Young is awesome. He's a really good football player. Arizona Cardinals at number 3, Tyree Wilson, defensive end from Texas Tech. I saw today that Robbie Anderson changed his name to Chosen Anderson, and Arizona's going to get rid of him. That's smart. Arizona's going to get the number 1 pick next year. They're going to be horrible this year, but on purpose. Tyree Wilson to the Cardinals. No Jalen Carter. It looks like in the top 10, GMs are already shying away from what happened to Carter. Colts at number 4 would stick there and take C.J. Stroud. As Rob Parker would say, stick and stay. Colts would stay at 4 and still get their quarterback, C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, who admits he didn't run enough in college. And he's true. He's right. You watch the Ohio State-Michigan game. The guy was sitting in the pocket all day, never ran. Seahawks would take Anthony Richardson at number 5. Even though they're bringing back Geno Smith, quote, Seattle might take a quarterback. An exec who was competing against Seattle in the NFC West told Sando, big athletic guy who can run. Another GM said, I like Anthony Richardson better than Will Levis, and I don't think I'm the only GM who feels this way. I could see John Schneider liking Richardson a lot, another GM said. He hasn't started much and didn't really carry his team, but he's a freak talent. That's Seattle. Then at number 6, the Detroit Football Lions, America's team. Theo Gridiron Spite's team. They would take Christian Gonzalez, cornerback, Oregon. Here's what Sando writes about Gonzalez. Quote, 2 executives thought the Lions might prefer Illinois cornerback. The team did decide to select a corner here. 2 others, Gonzalez would be the choice for his superior physical traits. One GM per top 10 would include 4 quarterbacks, plus Anderson, Wilson, Murphy, Gonzalez, and 2 offensive linemen, Pete Skoronski and Paris Johnson Jr., but it's hard to know at such an early stage. Aaron Glenn is probably going to be like Witherspoon because he's so competitive, but Gonzalez is bigger, longer, and faster, a different GM said. The possibility of Detroit acquiring cornerback Jalen Ramsey from the Rams arose in conversations regarding what the Lions might do in the draft. Could Detroit consider pairing Jalen Carter with Aiden Hutchinson if Carter were available? Quote, I buy a corner for Detroit, but that is another possible quarterback destination, another GM said. Could not surprise me if Detroit said, okay, we're going to upgrade corner by trading for Jalen Ramsey or signing Jamel Dean and saving that pick for a more valuable position. Among corners in the draft, I think Gonzalez goes first and he's the clear-cut number 1. End quote. That is from another NFL GM. Then Will Levis would go 7, Skoronski 8, and Paris Johnson 9, and Witherspoon 10 to the EAGLES Eagles. This is not anything new. This is something that we've seen before. I want to react to it. We'll do that next. All right, everybody's mocking Christian Gonzalez to the Lions at 6. And what I wonder is if this Anthony Richardson hype gets crazy and if teams get real desperate and if, Seattle doesn't take a quarterback at 5, what does that mean then the Lions at 6 if Richardson is still sitting there? Or heck, even if Levis is still sitting there. The Lions are putting out smoke screens, and it's a smart move. It's something Bob Quinn refused to do. The Lions are putting smoke screens out there that they want a quarterback for the future. They're saying that publicly. They might not want to. Lions haven't drafted a developmental quarterback since I was in diapers, it seems like. But this is what they're putting out there right now. And it's smart. But if Richardson drops to 6, and Seattle doesn't take him like they did in this mock draft, the Lions have to field phone calls. Whether it's Carolina at 9, even if it's the Raiders at 7, saying, don't take our guy. The Lions should field some calls. Could they then get Gonzalez at 9? I don't know. But they could get Witherspoon. Gonzalez and Witherspoon are not going in the top 8 picks, to whereas if the Lions traded back with Carolina to get to 9, that they would still get their pick of the litter at cornerback. I'm a Witherspoon fan, but as it was pointed out by, was it Chris Vanini last week to us from The Athletic? Witherspoon played against some pretty bad quarterback competition in the Big Ten. Now, Witherspoon did play against the Messiah, J.J. McCarthy. He did play against C.J. Stroud. But there were not great quarterbacks in the Big Ten this year. Who's a kid from Purdue? Not bad. Okay? But not good. Whereas Gonzalez in the Pac-12 was playing Caleb Williams, the Heisman Trophy winner, and others. Okay? But my preference is if they get Christian Gonzalez, and I know this sounds dumb, I'd rather take him at 9 and trade back and get more draft capital than get him at 9 or get Witherspoon. But Gonzalez had a very good combine. There were a lot of good cornerbacks there. And at 6'2", he's got the size. And as I've said on this podcast before, the Oregon connection. Lions have drafted players from Oregon before. They got Penei Sewell from Oregon. Gonzalez played 1 year there, so it's not like he played with Sewell. But Sewell's brother, Noah, played at Oregon. And I could see that being a Brad Holmes pick. But there are plenty of people that say, you can't take a cornerback at 6. You can't take a cornerback at 9. Well, why not? I did my needs for the Lions for the Locked On Network the other day on this video series they're putting out. And I said, 3 biggest needs are cornerback, defensive lineman, either edge or interior. I prefer a D tackle. And a right guard. Because right now, is Vaitai coming back? We don't know. Evan Brown's a free agent. Those would be my 3 biggest needs for this football team. All right, we got plenty of guests this week to kind of recap what happened at the Combine. We will do that. Like I said, Mike Renner from PFF likely on Wednesday. Thanks for making us your first listen. Thanks for watching on YouTube, a Monday edition of Locked On Lions.